Hi, I'm Ben. I hope this video is not for you, because if it is, then we speak the same language. This video is about blood clots and what you might do to regain a functional life. Now I want to point out, if you're the kind of person that is not highly motivated, such as a sports person or somebody that's very competitive, if you're okay with where you're at in life with your blood clots, limited mobility, don't listen to the rest of this tape. You don't need it. But I'm talking about the kind of person, such as myself, used to do marathons and rollerblading, was always very active. I'm talking about bicyclists, about other sports people, maybe even veterans that have had an injury, maybe they've got clots. They're highly motivated. They don't want to be a couch potato. If you're that kind of person, you need to listen to my words. Now, I don't have any show and tell. I just have some very useful advice. You see, about 3 or 4 years ago, I developed some blood clots. Had no genetic predisposition to getting blood clots. They just sort of appeared. Since then, I've had probably 5 or 6 more blood clots. These are all deep vein blood clots, deep vein blood clots. They've all been below the iliac vein, going down to the feet in both legs. Now, if you've had this kind of blood clot, only you know how truly incapacitating it is. Besides the intense pain, you are functionally handicapped. Your life is just about over with. And this is something that I couldn't tolerate, and perhaps other people can't tolerate. But if you can tolerate it, if you're okay being around on a walker, or if you're okay with just very limited mobility, then you don't need this, because with every cure there's always some risk. Okay, I'm going to get straight to the point. About a year or so ago, I had extreme problems in mobility because of my DVTs. In fact, I could barely move without crawling. I had to crawl in some cases. If I wanted to do anything outside, it was crawl on the ground. Later, I worked up to using a walker. The idea is that if you push yourself hard, your body will generate VEGF hormone, which will produce new vein growth. I did a lot of research, tried a lot of things. Based on the work by Stanford University, I tried nicotine, which I obtained through Nicorette gum, or actually Kroger makes a very inexpensive brand. That helped. I tried leeches. They have an incredibly useful array of peptides that they inject into you when you use leeches, and that helped. But I was still ultimately stranded at being a non-functional person. This has more stress than anything that I can relate. Now, if you fall into this category, let me share my experience with you. When I was at my top performance with the leeches and with the nicotine, I was able to do what I enjoyed most. I was able to put on my rollerblades and maybe skate 100 feet. That was about all. In fact, I would have to carry a fold-up chair with me, because after that, my body had not produced enough oxygen in the returning venous blood flow. I had no way of really going any further. I just hit a plateau. Couldn't do any useful work around the house. I could work maybe 1-2 hours, and then I would have to sit down, rest for the rest of the day. This is totally unacceptable to me. What I did was I went to the university here, which is a major teaching facility, to the Department of Pharmacology, and I said, look, I can't stand being non-functional. Isn't there anything I can try? The professor said, well, there is an off-label use to a particular medication that has been pulled off the market at that particular time. But its off-label use is to generate new vein growth. I said, I'll try it. I'll try anything. He said, now there's some literature that suggests there may be a higher risk of bladder cancer with this. I took all the documents and abstracts, studied them, and found out that there was really very little risk with this particular compound, 1 to 2% at most, and that could have been in error. I'm willing to take 1 to 2%. I have a greater risk than that just engaging in my sport, and I'm sure you do too as bikers or skateboarders or whatever you do. You are always weighing the risk versus gain rewards. I tried it, and within 6 weeks I was showing significant improvement. After a while it leveled off, but I am now 300% better. I can go and work around the house now all day. I can probably outwork just about any normal person my age. I can just about guarantee that. I can do things I used to not be able to do before, like I always loved to do dancing, like East Coast swing dancing, which is pretty aerobic. Before I just had to watch. Now I can participate again. I can skate 7 miles with some short rest stops, of course, but that was something I could never dream of doing before. This gave me my life back. That means, of course, less stress. Now, had I not done this, I wouldn't be risking that 1 to 2% risk of bladder cancer. But on the other hand, the stress would have built up cortisol levels in my body so high that I probably would have died from some sort of organ failure due to high cortisol levels. So after weighing everything out, I decided to try it. It worked, and I monitor my blood results. I've been on this medication now for over a year. Show no problem, no signs that there's anything wrong with it. Now, the generic name for this particular drug is pioglitazone. It's expensive, and you will need to have some sort of insurance coverage. If you don't have any insurance coverage, it will probably run $250 for a 90-day supply. If you have insurance company, a company that will cover part of it, your copay will probably be only $50. But I was amazed at the results I got. Now, it does other good things besides allow you to develop new vein growth. It lowers your cholesterol, you'll lose some weight. It was designed for diabetics. Now, I'm a borderline diabetic, and it helps lower my glucose levels, so that's good. I don't know if it's going to work for you. It surely won't work for everybody, but it worked for me, and it has been a blessing. I can't say enough about it. I've made a number of video clips about the things I've tried with blood clots, and this, bar none, this is the most important one. But hopefully, there's just a few people out there that have blood clots as serious as I did and are restricted to pretty much a non-functional existence. That is hard to explain to people, what kind of stress that you have from that. To be able to participate, to have your life back, and to be able to just share some of that brief moment of doing the sort of sport you used to do, you can't really replace that. That's just priceless. Now, you'll have to look on the text that I'm accompanying with this to see more about the dosage that I used and everything. Again, if you're not really incapacitated, it's probably not worth taking any risk at all. But if you're highly motivated and you just can't stand the idea of being a vegetable, then this is something to try. I'm sure there are many other good effects that this medicine has, but I'm just addressing that which I know of. And it has given me new vein growth. Now, when you get new vein growth, of course, you're going to develop these collateral veins, and you can see them on my legs and on my waist and everything. That's not an issue with me. You need to be aware of it, because if you're thinking about doing a runway modeling show or something, then that's going to be out for you. But I'm long past that. I just want to have a life again. So understand that you're going to have some new veins showing up. That's what you want. You're still going to have to wear your full-length compression stockings to compensate for the poor flow, but you will see almost an immediate gain, a significant gain in your abilities, and it'll happen quick within about 6 weeks. I've been on this, as I mentioned, over a year, and I plan on staying on it. Now, there are no side effects that I'm aware of other than hoarseness that you'll get at first, but that will go away in a couple weeks. For me, it's been probably just almost as close to a miracle as I can describe. It is not the intended primary purpose of this medicine. By the way, the medicine is originally sold under the name Actos. Now, Actos was hammered by a bunch of lawyers and everything wanting to sue everybody because there was an original study which grouped 3 medicines together. And it turns out 2 of those 3 did cause problems, but this particular one, Actos, did not have much of an effect. So it was the safe one, and it was later taken off the restricted list by the FDA. You can now get a prescription for it. So I feel that when I weigh the risk versus the gains, that it was a risk that I was willing to take, and I'm very glad I did. And again, I hope this video is not for you, but if it is, we understand each other. I know the pain you've been through, and I know the anguish that you're going through. I know how it feels to be non-functional. I hope this will help a few people out. Again, this is non-subsidized or no commercials with this. This is just something that I wanted to share with someone, because I think if I can help someone else regain their life, it'll all be worthwhile. I hope you take this to heart, and again, understand it's something that you need to do your own research for. I'm not recommending it for anybody. I have no authority to do that. Even though I'm a naturopath, I'm retired, and I'm not in the business of recommending drugs. I'm just sharing my experience. Take this information, use it wisely, and God will be with you to do the rest. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.